Wel, shwmae pawb and croeso y coginio ar y hyd. Hello everyone and welcome once again to the Happy Cymru Cook Along. My name is Richard and heddiw, today, we are doing slow cooker heaven and we are going to be making some wonderful, as you can see on my notice board, Hunter's chicken. Yes, the pubs and restaurants might not be open, but you can easily make the pub classic Hunter's chicken in your trusty slow cooker. Just as with all of the cook-alongs, now that I have sorted out my computer bits and we're ready to get started, I just quickly need to go and wash my hands. So I'm going to be looking at my imaginary clock, 15 seconds and 33 milliseconds, just to quickly wash my hands, and I will then be back in the room. So I will see you in 15 milliseconds and 32 milliseconds. I will be back. Well, Prynhawn da pawb, if you've just joined us, I'm just quickly washing my hands and I will be back in the room. This afternoon, as you can see on my glamorous notice board, we're doing that pub classic Hunter's chicken, which we are going to serve with some potato wedges and a lovely little green salad. Bear with me, I'm just drying my hands off. My paper towel goes into the bin. I can pop a little bit of antibacterial gel on my hands and you'll be pleased to know that I am now back in the room. So, as always with the cook-alongs, in a couple of moments I'm going to start off with my official part and then it really will go downhill from there. So my official part this afternoon is Prynhawn da pawb and croeso y coginio ar y hyd. Hello everyone and welcome once again to the Happy Cymru Cook Along. My name is Richard and heddiw, as I've already mentioned about 3 times today, we are doing that pub classic, which is that Hunter's chicken, which we're going to serve with the potato wedges and a lovely green side salad as well. And we're going to do it in the quickest way possible. We're actually going to do it in the trusty slow cooker. And I've got one that I've had cooking for the last few hours, and this room really does smell absolutely blasus iawn, super tasty. So I'm hoping that if I just click that button just there, yes it has, the recipe card for our Hunter's chicken has just come up on the screen, just on the side for you, just over there, and I've got my larger recipe card on my screen just to the side, and you can see that for a large family size meal, you will need 4 chicken breasts. And that's what I class as a large slow cooker recipe, which is your 3 litre sort of slow cooker. I'm going halves today. Because I've got one that I made earlier as well, so I'm going to be using a 1.8 litre slow cooker, and obviously the recipe card for that, for the half quantity, is available on the website as well. But I will flit between the two. Basically, the first things that we are going to have to prepare is our chicken and our bacon, and we're going to wrap the bacon around the chicken. Then we've got our really quick and easy sauce, and you can see if I count my ingredients just there, we only need 7 or 8 different ingredients for our sauce, and I promise you this is absolutely blasus iawn. And the great thing about doing it in the slow cooker, you can put it on first in the morning, prepare it the night before, put it on first in the morning, and just let it do its thing throughout the day. So if you're back in work or you're going out for the day, now that we are allowed out, it's a great recipe, and I promise you, you and the kids are going to absolutely think it's blasus iawn. So let me get started with the first bit, which is our chicken. And I've already done a little bit of preparation so that I'm not handling the chicken too much this afternoon. So what I have already done, I'm just going to pop that into my little waste bin just over there. I've got 2 little miniature sort of chicken breasts that I bought a pack of 4, and that's how big they were, but there we are. That'll teach me for buying them on special offer. And we've got 2 rashers of bacon just there. To give it that extra smoky sort of flavour, I've chosen today to use some smoked bacon, and you can see that I've taken off the streaky sort of bit which has got the more fat on it. In actual fact, don't tell that anyone, but I'm having it for sandwiches tomorrow, right? But this works really, really well. So literally the first thing that we're going to do, and I'm going to do this on my little red board just there, is I'm just going to wrap the bacon around the little pieces of chicken, and then I can get my hands washed more or less straight after that. So I've just got my little bit of chicken just there, and I'm going to wrap my bacon around, and you've got two choices when you're wrapping your bacon around. You can either just leave it like that, however it's highly likely to come off in the slow cooker. So all I've got is just a couple of cocktail sticks. You could use a kebab stick if you wanted to, and I'm just going to skewer that on straight through the middle, and that keeps the chicken and the bacon all in place. And if I pop them onto there just as so, we will take them out afterwards. You can see that they're now skewered with all together just as so. So let me go and wash my hands, and I will be back in the room. Obviously it's really important to make sure that you're washing your hands after touching raw meat. So let me just dry my hands on that paper towel. That one goes into there. A little bit more antibac on my hands. I can get that rid of that just there, and I'll just give my table area just a little wipe over as well. So let me just do that just to make sure that we're not spreading any germs and bacteria. So I've got my chicken sorted. The next thing that we need is we need to sort out our sauce, right? And if you've ever had Hunter's chicken, you'll know that you've got that lovely sweet barbecue sort of flavoured sauce around your Hunter's chicken, and then you've got the cheese on top. We're doing all of that today, right? And I promise you it really is cowing lash, right? So for our sauce, what you're going to do, you can pop this straight into the slow cooker. So I've got on the list just there, it says 300 mils of passata. You could use canned tomatoes, but passata will give you that lovely sort of smooth sort of sauce. And so I'm going to add, as I'm doing a quarter or half a recipe, I've got 150 mils just there. Obviously you'll use 300 mils for that afterwards in a larger slow cooker. So you can see that I've just filled that up just like that. Then we're going to start to make that barbecue flavoured sauce. I'm not going to add any tomato ketchup or any barbecue sauce because that's just adding extra sugar to the dish. So the first thing we're going to add is we're going to add a little bit of light soy sauce. This is a source of salt. It's also going to give it that sort of soury and barbecuey sort of flavour. It's all going to help together. So your recipe card says to add 2 dessert spoons. I'm just going to add 1 level dessert spoon for half quantity and a bit for luck, right? Then I've got my tomato puree. Again, yours recipe card, if you're doing a full recipe, will tell you 3 dessert spoons. I'm just going to add just 1 just there and a half dessert spoon just like that. Okay, then we've got our other flavours. Then probably the most important one that we're using today is our smoked paprika, because that's going to give you that barbecue sort of flavour, right, that we're always looking for. And again, you need 2 heaped spoonfuls or 1 heaped teaspoon if you're using a half quantity. I've also got some garlic granules. As you know, these are my favourite new ingredient, and as long as it says granules, then we're okay to use it. Try not to use the garlic salt, but the garlic granules are fantastic. And half a sort of teaspoon of garlic salt is equivalent to 1 clove of garlic, right? I've got my trusty parsley, so I've got half a teaspoon of that. And the last thing that I need is just up here. I need 1, as it says on there, or half a teaspoon of our mixed herbs. The final thing that I am going to add is our stock cube. And as you know, this stock cube is going to be our source of salt. So the recipe card says half. I'm just going to add 1/4, just like that, right? So you don't need a huge amount because obviously you got the salt from that. The final thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to move that over, is I'm just going to give that, joke alert, I'm going to give that a little mix in one direction, right? So just to give all that just a little mix. If you think it's a little bit thick, you can add just a little spoonful of water, right? So I've added another 50 mils of water. I always say that there's lots of different types of passata that you can get. Some are a little bit watery, some a little bit thicker. This one that I'm using today is a little bit thicker, so I've just slackened it down with a little bit of water. And literally all that we are then going to do, I can move those bits just over there, okay, is add my chicken, right? And you might not be able to see this bit, but I'm going to add my chicken straight into there, okay? And all that we are going to do is I am just going to pop them in. Sorry, I've stopped talking because I'm trying to concentrate, right? I am a typical man. You're just going to mix them into the mixture just like that, just until they're all coated with that chicken. I don't know whether you can see that, but you can see that it's all coated in that chicken. Then the last thing that you're going to do is pop your slow cooker lid on, and then you transfer it to your slow cooker, and you're going to cook it on low for about 6.5 hours, or high on, let me just check, about 2.5 to 3 hours, right? And I promise you, your chicken will be nicely cooked, the sauce would have thickened slightly, and the bacon would have cooked off as well. And you can see, as if by magic, after 5 hours on low, your chicken will be cooked, and you've got all of that lovely just in there. This, don't panic, this is lukewarm now because it's just been on reheat just there. So I'm just going to take that away and pop that just underneath. The final thing that we need to do for this is to add our little bit of chicken, or rather than the chicken, the cheesy sort of top. So I'm just going to pull out our chicken just here, and if I pop that just onto my little plate, just as so, and I've got that one just there. The last thing we're going to do is I then need to pull out my little cocktail sticks, just as so. Not as easy as I thought it was going to be, right? But at least if it's hard to get out, at least you know that your chicken is thoroughly cooked. So take those out because they're not very pleasant when they go onto the plate like that. And then literally all of your sauce you're going to pop into a little container, and then we're going to melt the cheese all over the top, right? So literally I've got my lovely thick sauce just as so. That goes on as a little base. I've got a little bit to pop on top afterwards. I can add my 2 breasts of chicken, and this is going to be enough for 2 people. So let me just pop that one on just as so. And then I'm not going to waste any of that sauce. I'm going to scrape that down. Let me just grab myself a little scraper. I'm going to scrape that all on just as so. We're not going to waste any of that lovely sauce. And I've got some spare sauce just in here, so it's going to cook. That cheese is going to melt into the sauce, and I promise you this is absolutely blasted yam. So let me pop those bits just there. The last thing that we have got as our little topping is our cheese. So with my cheese, I just need to grab myself a little cheese grater, and you'll notice that the recipe card says to use a mixture of cheese, mature cheddar cheese, and also mozzarella. I'm just going to use the mature flavoured cheese today, and I'm going to use 50 grams rather than the 100 grams, and I'm just going to grate my cheese on top like as so. I probably don't need too much more, and then that goes under the grill or in the oven under the grill for 8 to 10 minutes on a low to medium heat, just until that started to melt. And I promise you, when you serve those with some homemade potato wedges and a lovely green side salad, this is absolutely blassis yum. So let me just pop that just into there, and then I can pop all of those just in the corner over there. I'm going to wipe over my table once again, and then I'll quickly show you what we're going to serve our little potato, our little chicken with in a couple of moments. So let me just pop a little bit of antibacterial gel on my hands, and as I said, the first thing that we are going to serve them with today is a little bit of sort of homemade potato wedges, right? And I've got my little wedges that I made just before the start of the session. They've been keeping warm on top of my oven just there, and these are new potato sort of wedges. Couldn't be any easier to make, right? I've just got some new potatoes which I have washed off, and then all that you are going to do, I've got some sort of knife just there, is I'm just going to cut these into little quarters just like that. I'm just going to show you with these two little sort of potatoes just there. So I've got my potato wedges just there. You're looking for approximately 4 sort of small new potatoes per person, right? 4 to 6, depending on how small and how big they are. They go into there. Then, per person, I'm going to add 1 dessert spoon, or teaspoon rather, of bog standard sort of vegetable oil. So that goes on top. If you're a spray oil sort of person, probably about 6 little sprays. I've then got some mixed herbs that I'm going to add, which is going to add that lovely little bit of flavour. So we're not having to add any extra salt. Give that a little mix just like that. Make sure everything's coated, and then that goes onto a little baking tray. And I always like to pop these with the skin side down, and if you put the skin side down, they're less likely to stick to the tray, and you have a nice crispy skin as well. They all go on there, 190 degrees, that's gas mark 5 in the oven, for between 20 and 30 minutes, depending on how fast and how hot your oven gets. And they are absolutely delicious. No pre-cooking whatsoever, just cut them up, coat them in the oil, bang them in the oven, right? Really, really quick and simple, and you end up with these delicious little crispy potato wedges. And you can see that the skins of the potato haven't stuck to the tray, and I promise you they are absolutely blassis yum, right? Now then, the last thing that we're going to do, I'm just going to pop that just over there, is I'm going to serve my little salad, a salad with our can't remember what we're making, hunter's chicken, right? So I just got some pepper just here, and I'm just going to do little slices of pepper, and then I'm going to cut those into little dice pieces. And when it comes to peppers, I've got a green one just here. If you don't like the green ones because they're quite bitter, right, then go for the yellow or the red ones, because the more red in colour they are, the sweeter and more ripe they are. I've just got some little cherry tomatoes that I'm just going to halve just there as well. Excuse me. Ooh, a bit of a sneeze then. Let me just wash my hands. Don't know where that sneeze came from. And literally all that I'm going to do is I've got my little spring onion, remove the outside layer, so top it and tail it, and then literally I've got some spring onion that I'm going to add just up on there. So with my spring onion, I would always go all the way to the top, so where it feels like a rubber band, that's where I would normally stop cutting. So it's starting to feel a little bit rubbery. You can see that's the only bit that I am discarding, and I've got some little gem lettuce just there, and we're going to leave that as it is, right? To go with all of those, I have got a little dressing, and I know that I've made dressings with you before, but just as a little quick reminder, okay, it's 2 parts oil, to 1 part sort of vinegar. So I'm going to do it in my little pot just here. I'm going to make a double portion. So I'm going to use 4 parts oil and 2 parts sort of vinegar, right? So I've just got some balsamic vinegar just there. I'm going to add 1 spoonful and 2 spoonfuls just like this. So I'm then going to infuse it with other flavourings, right? So what have I got just here? I've got my trusty little paprika. I'm going to add a little bit of my mixed herbs, and then the final thing that we're going to add is our trusty little bit of parsley. And then the great thing about doing it in a little pot like this, or a little jam jar or whatever, is you can pop the lid on, give it a really good shake, and you end up with your little dressing just like that, right? And the great thing about that is you're not going to use it all at once. You can always leave it in the fridge afterwards, right? So I have got a little plate just over here, and I'm going to, my chicken has cooked off really nicely, and you can see that we have got our melted cheese over the chicken, and it really does smell absolutely blassis iawn. In actual fact, what I am going to do is, I don't normally use my phone during these sessions, but before I destroy this picture, this dish, I'm just going to take a little picture of that as it is now, and then I can show it on the screen on the Facebook page afterwards. So we've got that one just there. I'm just going to pop on a little bit of my salad to start with, so I'm going to pop those bits just there. I've got a little bit of my salad, so that one goes just there. I'm going to add some tomatoes to that. I've got some spring onion, and I've also got my green pepper rather. I'm going to add my chicken in a moment. I have got my little potato wedges. I'm going to add my chicken right at the end, because it will sort of need to cool just slightly. I've got my little potato wedges just going on just there, and these were and as I said, I'm making enough for 1 person today. And then with my little Hunter's chicken, I'm just going to separate that cheese out. Make sure you've got half one with half of your chicken on it, so that goes on there just as so. I can add a little bit of that barbecue flavoured sort of sauce. That goes on just there, just as so. And you can see I'm going to finish it off. I've got a little blob just there, so I'm just going to add a little bit extra just like that. I'm going to finish it off with our little bit of trusty parsley all over the place, a little bit of our final bit of salad dressing to go on the salad, and then you have got your little Hunter's, or should I say slow cooker Hunter's chicken, served with homemade potato wedges and a little side salad just there. And I promise you, this smells absolutely cow and lush, and it is really blassis iawn. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed today's cook along. I'm off to have Hunter's chicken for my evening meal tonight. Don't forget that all the recipe cards are available on the Facebook page as well as our website. I look forward to cooking with you again in the future. I think on Monday session we're actually celebrating, we're doing another chicken dish because it is International Garlic Day on Monday, and we're going to be doing some homemade healthier chicken Kievs, and I promise you they are absolutely blassis iawn. So that all that leaves me to say is diolch yn fawr iawn. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Coginio hapus.